Well, joining me now is Senator Marco Rubio of Florida. Thank you, first of all, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So you were in Puerto Rico on Monday, I believe, and then you spoke on the Senate floor and you warned of a humanitarian crisis there, a growing one. From what you witnessed, what do you think is the greatest need?
That the aid, even if it gets there, can't be distributed because there's no logistical chain. It's been shattered. It's been shattered by three things. The island already had a significant fiscal crisis, so its government is operating under constraints. Then it had a storm in Irma that impacted it. They just finished restoring power to much of the island after Irma. And now the second storm hits all at once. So basically there's no communications, there's no power, and there's no fuel and no truckers. And so you've got these containers sitting at the port and they can't move the aid. So even as the aid comes in, they're having trouble distributing it because they don't have a way to distribute it. They don't know where to distribute it. And they don't have it. Some of it needs to be refrigerated like insulin, and there's no enough power for the generators to protect that.
So what needs to happen to get those supplies? I mean, you have, what, 3.5 million Americans living there.
Right. Well, you cannot restore. You need to restore the logistical order in the short term, and you're not going to be able to do that through the government of Puerto Rico. You can't even do that through FEMA. That's not what FEMA is designed to do. The Department of Defense, in my view, the Department of Defense needs to be given the authority to reestablish the logistical chain in Puerto Rico. They know how to do it. They know how to do it better than anyone in the world. Sending assets there is a part of it, but we need to have someone in charge with the authority to make decisions about what planes come in, where the supplies are going, how to restore power, what roads need to be brought up, all the logistics that go into a supply chain. And once that's stood up, then you can begin to return to a more normal response. But until then, until that happens, nothing else is going to matter. It's
going to be a lot of work for a long time. Now, I know that you wanted to talk about tax reform. We're short on time. You've been working closely with Ivanka Trump on the child tax credit for months now. So how do you feel about the tax reform as it stands now, the plan?
Well, it's a great starting point, and obviously the child tax credit is the portion I'm interested in deeply. The president mentioned it yesterday. Mike Lee and I have worked together on this for a long time. For it to be meaningful, it has to at least be double. We're consolidating all of the child credits into one easy-to-use one. It'll be great assistance for working families to keep more of their own money. And so I'm excited it's a part of the starting point. We have to make sure it's done right. It's one of the most meaningful things we'll do to help people through tax reform.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, all our prayers with all those folks still dealing with recovery from Hurricane Irma down there in Florida, your state.
Thank you.
Thank you.